Hey, Russell Hotel's going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. This is a daily check-in. Yeah, I have a guest with me today. I have none other than Miss Tiffany English. You know what? She's an event planner. We just happen to be talking, having a conversation, and I told her, I said, you know what? I got to do my daily check-in. And she said, what is that? I said, well, you want to be a guest on here? Maybe we can talk because we kind of do kind of the same things, but different, if you will. I do hotel site selection. She does more event planning, but we dealing with clients. We attend some of the same shows and trade shows and conferences or whatever. In fact, we were just at IPEC, which stands for Independent Planners Educational Conference. We were just in Atlantic City, I guess maybe 2 weeks ago now. And we spent some time. We hung out, talked a little bit. We always have these commonalities, these conversations that are common within us, and sometimes things come up, and sometimes we just have to share with everybody. So, Miss Tiffany, thank you so much for coming on. You can talk now. You can unmute yourself.
Oh,
We're
I
so
can talk, I
excited.
can speak. Hello, thank you for having me.
No, of course, of course. You know what? You are the first guest I've had on the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. Did you know that?
I did not. I feel so honored.
Well, you should. You should. So no, I appreciate you coming on. Uh, Tell people. I mean, we should be live on LinkedIn and live on YouTube. I didn't get a notification, so I'm hoping that we are because I don't remember seeing the notification. But maybe you can check and see that we are on LinkedIn and YouTube, and that's my page, of course. But let people know what you do, just kind of real quick. And the daily check-ins for people that are maybe this is the first time checking it out. They're not long. They maybe be 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. Um, I just come on and just talk about something hospitality, and of course today will be no exception because we got Tiffany right here. So anyway, tell me what you do.
What do I do? So, Tiffany English of Velvet Style Event Marketing. Um, what I do is I am in the category of an independent planner, which means that I am able to take on a variety of different projects, contracts, work with different companies, whether it's corporate, specialty groups, associations. Came from a in-house corporate planning background, and instead of going to another contract, I decided to become completely independent and basically hustle my own business and help other companies, groups source their events, primarily venues. Focus a lot on the client um, events, looking for different venues, um, handling and helping people that don't necessarily have the time or expertise to find the right venue for their events, and that's where I come in.
Oh, okay. How long you been doing this?
Oh goodness, you throw me off. It's been a long journey of events. I actually start working in events since 2006. But the journey kind of took me into, working in specialty type events, freelancing, doing some things for a couple of companies that needed help. Um, but then I entered the corporate market back in 2017. I worked for a co-working space, so there was a variety of different businesses within that space, and I would help that co-working space put on events. So it was just one huge venue. From there, I went into legal marketing and did worked on their large annual events, trade shows, conferences, and things like that. And then, fast forward to now where I'm doing more a variety of different contracts, whether it's just some corporate contracts that helping them with their team source their venues, as well as independent groups that are looking to do retreats. Events are hot right now. I think people have really gotten into wanting to put things together and not knowing where to start. So there's a lot of opportunity from a lot of different sources for me to put my mark in. So
Very good. That was well said. So events are hot right now. Events are hot.
events
I mean, they're
are
sizzling.
hot.
Okay, so meaning people that have been putting it off for the last couple of years, now they're hot and heavy on planning events. Is that what you're saying?
I think they're hot and heavy on in-person experiences. It's a
Okay.
little bit different. We're just not just doing events. We're actually gauging why we're doing them. We're actually building communities. We're actually doing events to share. Share what's going on with different companies. We're doing events to cultivate an environment. Bringing people in to feel that energy. And for a company to be able to host that, people are going to connect the two. So when you go to a really great event,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to say, oh, well, this company is who I want to work with. Why? Because they make me feel a certain type of way.
Oh wow.
And there's no other medium or marketing that can do that other than events.
In-person events.
That's the key. What COVID did for us, it was a trying time because I've been tracking events long before COVID. And what I've seen is that people would go to events without a reason. If they were invited, they would go, right? If you had a conference, you would just go. And then COVID hit, we went all virtual and nobody wanted to go in person. So fast forward, 5 or 6 years where people are craving that in person, but they're being very selective of where and how they're going to use their time. We're not going to just every event now, right? So being able to, I think companies have seen that they have to get a little bit smarter. They have to give people a reason to come to their events, and that's the fun part because overall, I'm a marketer, so I love the marketing aspect of events, and I love when companies really see the and really gauge those KPIs, right? Those indicators of why this event is going to work or not, and they're putting attention and they're putting people and budget into these events, and they're not just doing it just for the sake of doing it. And that's what I mean by events being really hot this year,
Okay.
or not
I like
just
that.
this year, but just ongoing, right?
I like that. I like that. So okay, so what is your role in events? Like, do you plan them? Do you execute them? Do you find the space for them? Are you just hotel site selection? What do you do? What is your role in making these hot meetings or hot events? Are
No,
these meetings hot?
my role has changed over the years. I want to say I've always wanted to be able to do just anything and everything, whether it's a small event, a large event, a trade show, a conference. And now I'm in the space where I want to niche on, what I'm good at and what I like to do. And for me, it's picking and selecting the venue to start your events. Because I put a lot of time and care into thinking about what venue fits that event, because not every venue makes sense
Mm-hmm.
for an event. So what's great about it is that we start thinking about the event first. Why are we doing it? Who's going to come? What do you want your audience to know about? And then that will dictate what type of a venue you need and want. So when it comes to my role in selecting, it's really putting in that kind of care and attention that's needed to really hone in on the right venue.
Okay. So you're asking a lot of questions of your client or potential client, like what are you going for? I mean, what's the objective of this particular meeting or conference
Right.
or an event? And so you're getting the feelings and all that, and you're trying to relate that feeling to like maybe the venue too. Is that what we're saying? You're
Oh goodness,
laughing.
Russell, it's more than just feeling. I think feel. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have me thinking like, oh, you got to feel a certain type of way and woo woo this.
Well,
No,
I'm just trying to understand. And people are watching and listening. They want to know what you mean by this too. So I'm just asking a question.
yeah. So I always, when I'm talking to someone hosting an event, I always say, put yourself in the attendee shoes. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about, I want to do this big production. First, think about what is the attendee going to think about? What is the attendee going to feel? Who is this attendee? Do they feel inclusive? A lot of these questions need to be answered before you start planning your event. And once you're honing in on that attendee,
Hmm.
you're going to knock it out the park. There's no way you could do a bad event if you've checked the boxes and know what your attendee wants, right? Um, I mean, feeling is it's one aspect of the overall what your objection or your objectives are for this event. It's one aspect, but yes, you want to know how what your attendee is going to feel at that event, and that is resonates with the venue. That's why you can't, if you want to do this elaborate, beautiful, luxury something conference or event, you're not going to have it at, you know, this rundown shack. You know, you're going to really put care into, I want to see this venue and, it's going to light people up. And, people are really going to feel comfortable and included. And they're going to tell people, hey, this event was great.
All
Right.
right, all right. I like that. I like that. I gotta ask the questions, right? The people want to know. I have to ask the question. So, hey, we're on with Tiffany, or I'm Russell of Hotels. This is Tiffany English. Her company is called Velvet Style Event Biz
Marketing. That was
Marketing.
style event marketing. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I just want
You
to make
almost
sure.
got it. You
Almost
almost
got it.
got it.
Almost got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's a planner, and I met Tiffany, and she just reminded me a little while ago. Just about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was
Yeah.
actually at we just attended IPEC, which is Independent Planners Educational Conference, a couple weeks ago in
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic City, and we had met a year ago. I guess that was in Greenville, South Carolina, correct?
Yeah.
At the IPEC conference. She just reminded me of that. So I'm just, I
You
don't know why
forgot?
she's, but anyway, yeah. I just, and from that point, we've talked and we meet at other conferences, and next thing you know, she's on a daily check-in with me. I don't even know how this happened, but I asked her to come on because there's some things we could talk about. Normally I do a daily check-in and I have a topic. Well, today the topic is Tiffany, and maybe some of the things, some of the commonalities that we deal with at meetings or when we go to conferences, specifically when we do these one-on-one appointments. Okay, so let's just talk real brief. It's not going to be a long conversation, but just real brief about one-on-one appointments. Like IPEC is big on, a lot of these conferences are big on one-on-one appointments, meaning say you have 20 appointments over a 2-day span, and it's planners like myself and Tiffany. You're paired up with suppliers, and that would be the CVBs or DMOs and hotel people, hotel sales managers, directors of sales or whatever. Okay, so we talk to these people, we meet with these people, and we were talking a little bit offline about sometimes there can be like a disconnect, or is that a good way to put it? And I'll let you go from here. I'm gonna say a disconnect, but the disconnect happens after. It doesn't happen during. It happens after. Can you expound on that a little bit, Tiffany?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a disconnect. I mean, I had a really good time.
Well, that's my
This
word. That's my word. I own that. That's
Yeah,
disconnect. Okay, you go ahead.
yeah, it really is. It's your word. I wouldn't. Don't put that word in my mouth. So my word would be missed opportunity. Honestly,
Okay, I like
yeah,
that.
missed opportunity because you have us. You have a captivated audience of planners. We've been fed well. We've been able to network with each other. We're not, for the most part, busy. We're spend 2 days locked in into this space to meet with you. With that being said, like you said, now what? What after the follow up? The continuing of the relationship. A lot of times, like you said, 20 meetings. And when I tell you there's so much information thrown at you that I'm like, oh, I can't. I can't contain it. Um, I just feel like the burden is more on the supplier to reach out and say, "Hey, here's this is what we discussed," or "Here's a follow up. Here's a summary of my property," or "Here's what might be a good fit for that RFP you mentioned." Like I feel like you as in hotel manager, CVB, whoever, takes the information that I said and spins it back in that email or that continued conversation. Why? Because we need to see that you are on top of things, but also I need to have top of mind when it goes to who who should I reach out to for XYZ. So I think that's what was missing, and a lot of times, we just discussed it too. Like who followed up with us? It was very few. It was, for me at least, it was less than half. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, no, yeah, it was 20 to 30%. 20 to 30% of the 20 people that I saw actually followed up with an email or whatever. So when I say disconnect, I think disconnect is a good word because I don't know what happens between when we're meeting and then when we leave and go back to our prospective offices or hotels. But and I can speak because I came from that side, right? I used to be a sales manager. I used to be a director of sales and marketing. I was a general manager. I know all these things, right? And I knew that when I completed a trade show or whatever conference, I had to come back and develop or create a trip report or complete a trip report as to who I met with, all the, what went on and all these things. I would have powwows with my director of sales and marketing because he or she wanted to know, they wanted to gauge if it was worth going to again. Meaning, did you get any business from that? Did you get any leads? If that was cold, hot, warm, whatever leads did you get from them? And what are you doing with those leads, right? So he or she would follow up with me to say, hey, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? And not that everything had to lead to business, but it had to at least, I know more about the client at least, right? And sometimes when I say disconnect, we're only gonna get so much information from each other. I mean, from client to supplier and supplier to client, right? You're only gonna get so much information because guess what? You only got 10 minutes to talk, right? So you got 10 minutes to talk. So the work doesn't start until you get back to the hotel. That's when the work starts because then that's when you have to. That's when you're developing that relationship. You're following up. You're calling, and it's not all just about email. Sometimes you got to pick up the phone and call. Tiffany and I were talking a little while ago offline, and she said, "How many people actually call you?" And I said, "None." And she said they don't
nah.
call her either. So there's when I say 20%, 20 to 30% of people reached out, that was via email. There's very seldom a phone call that comes across, which it's okay to call. I guess I'm here to say that it's okay to pick up the phone and call. We're all busy, right? But it's okay if you're trying to establish a relationship and you're serious about what you do. Sometimes we do have to pick up the phone and call. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I even so, and like you said, all of these 10-minute conversations that are a blur, I would have gladly appreciated. Hey, can we get on a quick call? Can we do a coffee chat? Hey, I'd love to hear what you have going on, or even if you reference a piece of the conversation that we talked about. I think I was talking about doing events and paying attention to the attendee. I think suppliers need to pay attention to their buyers.
Oh yeah.
Put yourself in the buyer position. Ask them about them. Uh, ask them if they have any feature, or just kind of that get to know you chat. I would gladly welcome that.
That's cool. I like that. I like that. A
Right?
get to know you chat after the conference is over. Get to know you chat. I love that. I love
Right.
that. Okay, this is Russell of Hotels. Okay, this only needs to be like 20 minutes. Okay, so we can continue this conversation. I'm gonna table this for now, and we can come back on and do another one. Like I said, I do the daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we got plenty of time to come on. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever had a guest join me on here for the couple minutes to talk about something I think that's important. That maybe, and you mentioned it, and I think you it was well put. You said missed opportunities. So this is basically missed opportunities that maybe salespeople, hotel salespeople, CVB or DMO salespeople are missing. We're not taking that extra step after the conference is over. I'm not saying 100% are not doing it. There's people that are doing it, but in my case, I'm only going to always going to speak from my own experience. 20 to 30% of the people that I met with actually have followed up with me to date. Okay, and this was 2 weeks ago that we attended this conference. Now, how much is too much time or not enough time? I don't know, but I haven't received anything. So you got some parting words here, Miss Tiffany? No?
Do better? Isn't that what?
Okay, all right, that's it. All right, that is
Do
it.
better.
That's it. So if you didn't get a chance to see this live, that's okay. Check it out on the replay. We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. I'll put this on my Facebook page as well. So if you want to glean it from there, that's fine. But thank you so much, Miss Tiffany. Appreciate you coming on. And the comments are open, so people can always make comments because this is what am I trying to say? Engagement. I encourage engagement. That's what we want. That's what we love. We would be happy to field questions, and if you agreed or disagreed, I mean, that's okay. You can voice your concern. That's what it's all about, right? It's all about trying to learn from each other and help each other out, because it's not about throwing people under the bus. It's about educating people. Maybe you're missing something. In Tiffany's case, she said there's a missed opportunity there. And I love that. And I wish someone had told me that, 20 years ago. Maybe I'd have been a much, although I was a good salesperson, don't get me wrong, but maybe if someone would, say, hey, you did this, you did that, maybe you should try this next time or whatever. It can only make us better, okay? But if we don't know, exactly. If you know better, you'll do better. But if you don't know,
See?
Exactly. There you go. So that's it. Thank you guys so much. We'll do this again, and like I said, maybe tomorrow. So we'll see. So anyway, until tomorrow, as always,